Hi, welcome back. I'm Paul Chartier, and we have an exciting program to talk about with Junior Achievement. Lynn Hudgens, the president of Junior Achievement locally. How are you?
I'm good, Paul. How you doing?
Good, thank you. We've known each other for a long
exactly.
time. From really when you took over. How long have you been at JA?
17 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
wow.
I know. Time flies.
But look at what's happened in those 17 years.
Yeah.
And I came in as a volunteer teaching classes.
Oh, sure.
And it was a lot of fun.
Sure.
And it just, I mean, when you're in front of kids, how can you help getting involved, getting excited?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There's a couple exciting things going on right now with Junior Achievement. This program is going to air in June.
Okay.
But you will have already inducted your most 3 recent Hall of Famers.
Right.
And
right.
tell people who, because every year they're significant.
Yeah.
Who are they this year?
Well, we've got Will James from Toyota, Steve Grossman, Hilliard Lyons, and then Dr. David Stevens.
Great.
Of course, retired council member, ran Shriners Hospital, a variety of different things.
Yeah, terrific. All of them.
Yeah, the good,
terrific guys.
Really good folks.
Yeah.
Ran very much, all 3 of them. It's not that just that they're successful in their own right, which they are, but they've all given back to the community in one way or another.
And that, I think awards can be way overdone in just giving awards to people.
Yeah.
Just to give them an award.
Right.
But every year, your group, I think the significant thing with your group is you induct them in the Hall of Fame, but the measure is they keep coming back every year to watch other people get inducted.
Oh, right, exactly.
It's not just a one-time deal.
Exactly.
They get an award and go home.
Yeah.
But they really become immersed into the culture of JA. And a lot of it has to do with you and the culture that you've created at JA.
Well, we've been very fortunate. Years ago, we decided, because we did have that culture a long time ago, and it wasn't anybody's fault. It was just nobody had really sat down and kind of chatted with the Hall of Fame members after they were inducted. And so then we developed now we have a fall luncheon where we introduce the next year's candidates. And so it becomes a little bit of a fraternity, sorority type thing. And I kind of kid them every year because we have what's called a class picture. And so each year at the Hall of Fame and at the luncheon, 6 o'clock at night, of course, our Hall of Fame dinner's out at Keeneland. And so we'll have a nice picturesque background and have, how many of them are there, a nice picture of all of them at the event. And, you know, sometimes there's as many as 25 or 30 there.
And
so
they've got to love it because they're on par with the other folks.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's any, you know, there's just a conversation going on there that I've seen. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
This is not, and we've talked about this before, this is not your grandparents' Junior Achievement where you make a product and you go sell it. It's not that anymore, where you've got professionals that come into the classroom and teach JA, and that's been going on for a number of years. And to see kids understand the business concepts that schools can't teach, it fills the gap, is just fantastic.
Yeah.
What is going on right now with this building that you're building and this Biz Hub, BizTown. It's just fantastic. What's going on?
Well,
it's been a secret for a while, but now it's being uncovered.
Yeah, it has. It has. We had our first really kind of public press conference, I guess, back in June of 2014. We had our first kind of to bring it out in the public. We've been working on this, I guess, since really November 2011 when our board traveled to Louisville to see their JA BizTown, JA Finance Park. But what it is it's an opportunity for the kids to have really, to take they'll have the classroom information, but then they'll get to go experience it through a day at JA BizTown, JA Finance Park. Like in JA BizTown is really mainly for 5th graders. And so they'll have 11 hours of classwork, learning what an economy is, learning what taxes are and all the things that shape an economy, learning about all that, and also being given a job, whether it's in charge of the TV station or if it's in charge of the newspaper or they're running the UK healthcare clinic or LG&E facilities. So they'll have a job when they get there. So when they get off the bus on their specific day to go to JA BizTown, they'll know where they're going and they'll know what they're doing. And so then they'll spend about 4 hours. Each of the businesses there, it's literally a small city, and that's what it looks like, is a little small city. And they'll go to the bank and get a small business loan and then they come back, and then they have to pay back that loan by the end of the day. But it's all interaction. And so if you work for the utilities, you have to visit this store. Maybe you're reading the meter at each storefront. You're working in the restaurant and you're providing lunch or whatever. So there's interaction, and it really gives the kids a sense of how a business or how a city, how an economy operates.
It's taking the theory, put it to practice. But you brought a video.
Yeah, we did.
Can we show,
sure.
let's show the video, and then we'll talk more about this.
Yeah,
Okay,
that'd
great.
be fine.
Okay.
I think kids in Lexington would love to go to BizTown. It gets you ready to be a grown-up.
I think bringing a JA BizTown to the Central Kentucky area would be a wonderful experience for the kids to have. It gives them a lot of hands-on experience. They get to be real-life CEOs, CPAs, a lot of terms that they're not familiar with, and they get to see what their parents do every day.
Hello citizens, my name is Stuart Michael Stevens. I am the CEO of TV and Technology Center.
Well, I was the CPA. I was in charge of making the checks and paying the bills for the other needs for the people.
Throughout the process, my students have become very engaged. They really like learning the content of BizTown. They are really interested in economics now.
When I was a CEO, I learned that you have a lot of responsibilities, and your CPA and your carrier have to do their jobs right. JA BizTown taught me that being a grown-up is not really, it's not like, it doesn't seem how it is, and it's really hard, and you have a lot of responsibilities as a job.
The experience is it's phenomenal because they get to see a town in action. I mean, they get to see how the city hall works. They get to see how the news station works and how they have to earn money and then pay taxes.
With all kids, if we can make that connection for them, then they're going to better understand it, and they're going to be able to apply it for when they get older. This just gives them a taste of what the possibilities are out there for them.
My job was the on-air personality at the TV station.
I've really enjoyed how you're like an actual adult. You walk around, you have a job, you make sure everything's going right.
The students in Lexington could really benefit from having a BizTown because, I mean, it's like preparing them for the future.
My students will definitely remember this experience forever.
I love JA BizTown.
How kids can learn by just sitting all day is beyond me.
Right.
But to get them up and moving, and did you say where this BizTown takes place?
Yeah, well, that's in Louisville. We
Okay.
had, what we did was we're trying to begin to introduce the concept to not only Fayette County public school teachers, but we'll have 20 or 25 counties in addition to Fayette County that we'll be working with through this. And so, we're beginning the process of getting the teachers engaged and that kind of thing. And so we went to the principal at Arlington Elementary, Kim Lippert, was perfect. She got it.
Yeah.
She said, I've got two teachers, Holly and Molly, that you saw there. And so their class went through it after the first of the year. In January, and then the very 1st of February, and so the middle of February, the kids, we rented a couple of buses and went to JA BizTown in Louisville. So they experienced the whole deal.
Okay.
And even when they got back, they wrote, all the kids wrote the principal a letter saying that their 4th grade students need to get to do the same thing that they got to do as 5th grade students.
Great concept. The logistics would overwhelm me.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that?
Well, and I did forget to mention the reason this is really possible for us as JA of the Bluegrass, because our school system is relatively small, and so that's why we expand course into the additional counties and that kind of thing. And so, but we're able to do this from a monetary standpoint, because Fayette County Public Schools is partnering with us because they see the value of this. And so they're allowing us to use one of their school buildings that's not that's not full. Okay, and so they're allowing us to use that. Now, what we do, we will pay to do the build out. Like in that particular school, we're using the gymnasium area and probably a couple of classrooms around there. But the gym's nice and the tall ceiling, so it'll make a nice town. So, but what Fayette County Public Schools is doing for us, there's no overhead, there's no big lease, there's no big rent. So it's like $1 a year for, you know, not ever, but maybe 20, 25 years type thing.
So you've got a facility location identified.
Right.
And then the kids will be bussed in weekly?
No, actually it'd be every day.
Every day?
We plan to have, as a good friend of mine from down in Fort Lauderdale, they've got one of these, Bistown Shays Finance Park, and she said it best because she goes, it's like putting on a play every single day. And so at the end of the day, you get everything ready because you got another play the next day. And the kids are expecting the same thing that the kids that day got. And so that's the reason you go to these surrounding counties. In deference, you know, in fairness to our partners and our business partners who are going to be the partners who may name the building, partners who are going to be the storefronts and that kind of thing, we want to have that facility in capacity as much as we can. And so that way we will have now, we won't be able to start in August because there's some classwork they have to do, but probably from mid-September through the end of May, we plan to have kids in the facility. Plus, it allows us to also do summer camps. And so you can do 2 or 3 weeks of summer camps and again, have the kids come in, you know, the partners, you know, we've got, right now I think we've got Keeneland, Toyota, LG&E, KU, and UK Healthcare. Mike Scanlon individually is doing the philanthropy, and then WLEX is they're our TV partner. So, and I'm leaving one out. Doggone it, who is it? I'll think of it.
As you think of it in the last couple minutes,
right?
What are your biggest challenges right now and we'll give your website and phone number.
Okay.
What can people help you with? Is it getting companies on board to help with the funding part of it? What's the biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge right now is just getting people to understand it, getting companies on board to help us fund the project. Is really probably our biggest hurdle right now, because what we plan to do is we want to begin the build out process in January and then we're actually open in fall of 2016, but we don't want to be in debt. So we don't want to go into this knowing we have all this money that we owe.
For JA to go in debt would be against what JA is teaching inside the classroom.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
You don't want to go against yourself.
No, we can't go against ourselves.
You would fire yourself.
Yeah. You know, and people don't want to fund debt.
Right.
That's no fun.
Yeah, that's not fun.
We're in the visionary process, so they want to fund what we're looking at and creating.
Well, this is exciting, and I've been through JA from the product thing all the way to being in the classroom, and knowing that this is on the doorstep is very exciting.
Yeah.
So for you and your board and Fayette County Public Schools and everybody that's an advocate, you know, the term herding cats, but you're doing a great job. And like the first group, it's all about the kids. So Lynn, thank you very much.
Exactly. And by the way, it's Fort Bank. Fort Bank's my one I thought of.
Great bank, great people.
Yeah.
Go to the website for JA, get on board. And Lynn, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
It's very exciting.
Appreciate it.
Glad to have you here.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Watch on Facebook and a couple other channels. Thanks for watching. I'm Paul Chartier.